Greetings, everybody. Happy day. Thank you, Tommy Jane, coming to you canned. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Today's the day of infamy. Just Pearl Harbor Day. Nobody mentioned it today yet either. How about that? Looks like I need to respond to the Kiwi farmers about Venice Beach. Believe what you like, girls. Gary Perdue is a liar. That Chongo fellow. There's nothing that said anywhere that I was shot by somebody for rummaging in a garbage can. It says it was a disgruntled business owner who got tired of the transients trespassing and making a mess around his dumpsters where Tommy was caught rummaging and he got shot. That's a lie, Gary. There is no newspaper article that said anything about that. It happened on a residential street in between two houses, a house and an apartment building. You're a liar. You're also in violation of a lot of laws, pal, and you're going down for it. Kiwi Farms apparently is under investigation by the FBI already, and I haven't even made my complaint about these fools. They got hold of a meme that I shared about like this if you've never had a gun pulled on you. Share if you have. I've had guns pulled on me lots of times by cops. My first was a big black guy who stuck a gun in my face thinking I was the person who beat up his little brother because of the jacket I was wearing. Then a junkie emptied a clip from a 32 at me and a bunch of my friends because one of them had bugged his buddy for papers on a trombone he was trying to sell. I never saw the guy who got hired to put a cap in me for something I wrote about the CIA mafia drug trade in Venice Beach. Well, that's what it was. And the rumor was that the order had come down from George Bush Sr. himself. But that's just rumor. You have to understand the layout there. And you have to understand and accept that America has been in a secret civil war, ultra low intensity civil intra-national conflict since the Kennedy assassination. We have not had a legal government. I'm sorry. It's all, you're embracing lies, and that's just the way it is. And Venice Beach is was on the forefront of the gentrification wars of the 80s. You know, here was Venice, where the canal properties, the little cottages on the canals, had deteriorated so badly you couldn't even give them away for $20,000 in 1975, and in 1985 you could get near one for less than $250,000 because Marina del Rey had been built. And, you know, Venice was, you know, that's where the debris meets the sea. I-10 and I-5 cross right near there. And you know, you keep on going to 10 to the end, and you're at Santa Monica Beach. Bam. And that's what happened. I had left University of Texas because I just couldn't stand being surrounded by all the animal torture. And was looking for something in my field on the West Coast. And I went out there, and I was, I had planned on taking my time, getting out there. I had a fairly decent reserve, a couple of $1,000. And I was going to take my time getting out there, but there was some hitchhikers in Fort Worth. Or so, you know, I'm heading west, and like before I was even out of the DFW area, some hitchhikers jumped on board, and they were chasing her ex-old man who had kidnapped her children to San Francisco. So I drove straight through to 10 and dropped him at the 5, and then I went on to the beach. And I'm sitting there on the beach, and I'm like, well, which way do I want to go? Do I want to go to the left, or do I want to go to the right? And Someone just said, well, you probably want to check out Venice. So I went and checked out Venice, and I stayed there for a while. At first, I tried to get jobs. I had a car that I was making payments on. And I tried to get jobs at the universities at Scripps and UCLA and USC, but there wasn't anything happening for me there. And I scored something with a Chinaman who was importing tropical fish and goldfish from Asia. Um, and was working there and met some people down on the beach, and we were squatting at number 13 Westminster, which is the gray building, caddy corner from behind the Sidewalk Cafe, where there was a major amount of serious drug trafficking going on. When limousines would pull into the alley, two big guys would get out. One of his stuff would be in his trousers, in his belt, and the other would be carrying a briefcase. They'd be in there for about 5 minutes and come back out. And right down the street's Tony Bill. He was like the major, that was Dudley Moore's producer. He was a major, and that's a whole other story in itself. The whole Fish and Tracy. That was the night I jumped out of a car, moving car, wearing roller skates, going downhill. The car was going uphill. I just jumped out, landed on my feet, got all the way to the bottom without falling. But anyway, that's a different story. Well, that's part of the same story. I mean, this is my Southern California days. This is, and I don't lie about it. I'm like, be inaccurate, and I omit a lot, and I get misinterpreted a lot. So like that's a lot where, someone says, "What's this ridiculousness? This is bullshit." I don't lie. I really don't lie. Oh, I usually have this person blocked. Um, wow, I watched until he started screeching. Sorry, Tom, if you need, I'm not logged in so I can see her. Sorry, Tom, if you need to introduce yourself as being famous, you aren't. No one outside of Kiwis, AMPs, and the Tucson transient community know who you are. Right. that's that's delude yourselves, but that's okay, and it's a different kind of thing. But delude yourselves. And how dare you assume the person you're talking to is a sir? You went on a tirade because they called you sir. Then you do the exact same. I didn't go on any tirade. You aren't a woman. You're a gay man. No, I'm not. And you're making an assumption that I'm gay because I'm claimed to be a trans feminine person. My penis likes vaginas. Fuck you, you sociopathic, sick bitch. Go eat, kill yourself. You're a drain on society. You make liberals look bad. Kill yourself. Of course I make liberals look bad because I'm a fucking radical, you stupid cunt. Go eat some more meds. I didn't forget, the spleen thing was, it nicked my spleen. I wasn't shot in the spleen. I was shot in the side. It was here. Let me see. Let me show you where I got shot. I got shot right here. It bounced off this rib, crossed over, and lodged in a adipose pad near my spine. And that's where I got shot. It happened to nick my spleen. That's all. It didn't do anything. Um, and Oh, here, this is some batshit crazy shit. While the thread isn't as active, I'm glad the mood of the thread has become more of an observing catalog thing. Just keeping track of the shit he tells people has already had notable influence on his life. I imagine in the 90s and alls, every new person he met was a potential mark. Now he has to worry about the things he's done and said catching up with him and making him radioactive to another community he's trying to exploit. I'm okay with that being how his life works from now on. Yeah, well, I'm okay with fucking your world up, pal. Kiwi Farms is almost history. and a lot of other organized cyberbullying is a problem, a big problem, and really, uh, they give themselves a lot more credit for the impact that they're having on my life. As my life is just going, I'm not exploiting any communities. I'm being me, and communities either accept me as me or they reject me as me. And I don't care if they reject me because there's plenty who accept me. And I'm not trying to go with any hive mind. I'm a unique individual. And I have hundreds of friends who are also unique individuals. You are hive-minded sociopathic voyeurs, projecting your own self-loathing all over people because you're in denial of it. Most of what you complain about other people having wrong with them is something that you're in denial of being wrong with yourself. Get lives. Get off the drugs. You know, you're better off smoking weed and drinking a little wine and maybe doing some mushrooms a few times a year than eating that fucking weird shit that you are from the Psychopharmacology Institute of Babylon. Albeit a good, docile proletarian. What the fuck? Oh, you want to be one percenters, neocons, alt-right? You're all full of shit. You're dead in the spirit. That's too bad. But anyway, where was I? Oh, we needed to finish that. Shit. Oh, so back to the story. How I got shot. So here I was. Living the transient life on the beach, couch surfing or being in, whatever, sleeping in the street, hanging out, sleeping on the street somewhere. And this went on, that there were two separate times blocks of time that I lived on Venice Beach. From winter of 1982 to the summer of 1983 was one, and then I got rescued by my friend in Milwaukee, and I dispatched trucks in 1983 and 1984, and tried to get back into medical research in 1985, but Reagan pulled the funds at the last minute on a job that I had nailed down with Brown and Goldstein, good cholesterol, bad cholesterol guys from Texas. And so I went back to the beach. So I know people there. It's okay, man. They thought I was dead, but Tommy, you're still alive, cool. And got back into the sleeping on the couch surfing and hanging out and just living in the cracks. And what happened was that in 1986 or so, the jurisdiction for the beach switched from this county to the city, and the city didn't have any no camping ordinance in place. So when word of that got around, Tent City sprouted up. And me and my friends were kind of a thorn in the law enforcement and the organized crime side because we were like snitching. Me and my partner in crime would sit out in front of the store he worked at and warn people about the undercovers hanging out, busting people for open container when they popped the tops on their beers coming out the store. Cops grabbed us one day, took us in the back. They were gonna beat the crap out of us, but the two old Jewish, they were concentration camp survivors. They had tattoos even. The two old guys come out with baseball bats, asking what was going on. So they decided they had to take us in instead without beating us first. And when we got to the substation, the whole Venice Beach crew come in, looked at the two of us in there together in handcuffs and busted out laughing, wondering what the fuck we had possibly could have done to get busted together. And when they told him the story, those guys, oh boy, they let us go without writing anything up. I said, what was the charge? Telling people that they were about to get busted by undercover cops. uh, so anyway, um, well, it was a real problem to coke people because I was being way too vocal about what was going on. Because man, it was like the wholesale traffic was right in front of my face. Um, at Sunset, there was Sunset Street. There was a clothing store on the corner next to the gingerbread house. That was receiving it in boxes. And they just unloaded. Come in at LAX and as imported clothing, and just shoo. And then in the morning, dude, go have blue backpack. He had stuff full of the shit, and he'd go down to the cross-selling shop at Dudley, next to the Cadillac Hotel, and he'd be in there for a little while, and an hour or two, and then come back with an empty backpack. Strawberries would be there at 3 o'clock in the morning banging out, oh, suck your dick, would just get me high, please. And, this is, oh boy. And just lots of stuff. But essentially what was happening was that just about every business between the piers, the Venice Pier and the Santa Monica Pier, just about every single business was either dealing the shit or laundering the money. And it was just incredible. The guys that were swinging, um, the guy who ordered the hit, the guy who was in charge of the shit, was in charge of Mexican mud, and he had a couple of Navy guys, the Vietnam vet river rats, that were sitting on the bench, swinging the shit for him. And boy, every time they get busted, they go into court on roller skates. Don't recognizance bond. You get caught for direct sales or something. They just get bonded right out. And somebody get caught with 2-year-old needle marks, and he'd end up doing 90 days for it. It's just on and on. One of the coke runners, one of the street runners, bounced the wino's head off the sidewalk, and totally like a brutal assault. And they ruled that the judge, he's overnight. He was in jail overnight. The judge ruled it mutual combat and let him go. And that was one of the people I saw die. Well, I come around the corner. Lady wanted a piece of that boy. The kid was running away from the scene, and lady wanted a piece of him. I wouldn't let her. I should have. And another time we were sitting smoking a joint, 4th of July, 3rd of July. It was on the 3rd of July, and fireworks was already starting, and there was a pop. That wasn't fireworks. And we turned around, and there was a transgender hooker, who was, transgender sex worker, who was blown away. 2 in the chest, bam, bam, from 45, 100 feet away from me. So, no, there are 3 people I saw die. Dude fell over and cocaine overdose. Like a plate of food. Anyway, moving right along. Basically, what happened is I wrote something. I've been getting attacked by the drug dealers. Anyway, that's something I have to deal with, but reassure her. One of my good friends is giving me some stupid shit on the wall. And she'd rather I didn't go off on it. So anyway, I wrote something, and I had been getting attacked by the dealers. I mean, one of them was they didn't, you know, I was a problem. They knew it because I was trying to snitch it. I was writing letters to the police chiefs and to Tom Hayden and I forget who all else. Um, and I forget whether I had that case filed or not. I filed a class action case about it, about the federal involvement in the dope trade. This was at the height of Contragate. Oh, I rolled my eyes when I saw that CIA hate shit. Well, of course you did, because you're conditioned to believe that anything that goes against, contrary to the conventional wisdom on anything, is insane conspiracy theory. When in fact you've been conditioned with lies. Goes back to the Kennedy cover-up. That's go check the etymology of the term conspiracy theorist. You'll see that it didn't even exist before 1963. Go figure. So anyway, I've been attacked by these guys. Um, one of them jumped me with his dog. Guy twice my size jumped me with his dog. Lady took his dog straight down, and I put my flute right between his eyes. He's kind of gave him a big purple bindi. He's lucky I didn't hit him in the nose, or he would have been dead. And then the fucker tried to get he tried to get me busted for attacking him. Fortunately, there were plenty of witnesses who said no, that ain't the way it worked. And but they did manage to get Lady quarantined, but they were nice enough to quarantine her at my friend's house for biting him. So once he finished with his dog, he turned on him. Uh, so anyway, I published a piece. You can find it. It's in the Venice Beachhead. It's online. Letter to the editor describing what was going on. Well, I didn't name any names. I had the names archived in my friend's gun cabinet in Wisconsin, and I had some serious names of people identified that were like in the trade. I did not have the actual links past the guy on the beach, Rudy Axford, Dolphin Productions kids. Go hunt that one down. AXEFORD. You might go look for a death notice of John Dennis David Berry, died of a heroin overdose, or perhaps Jesse Ed Davis also died of a heroin overdose, or Daniel Doyle, who died from drive-by shooting. I forget what Turtle's name was. They found him stuffed in a dumpster. They just the order, as I understood it, was to hit me but not hurt me but not kill me, because of it would be too difficult to cover up, because too many people knew the truth. There was one brother named Chris White, in who was part of the Reefer Brotherhood, that went looking into it, and I almost got run over by a speeding car on Oceanfront Walk. Then a lawyer by the name of Abigail sent his investigator out, and next thing I know, he's telling me, "Hey man, I don't want no bombs coming through my window," and he moved his office from Tarzana to Jacksonville, Florida. He said, "You're rattling the wrong cages, man. It goes all the way to the top," and it does. You know, who do you think's running the drugs? Those guys, Tubin and Gelt, represented a group of Colombians who got popped at LAX, and they just paid a small retainer, and then they got them. They managed to get everybody like adjudicated sentences. You know, it was like deport the Colombians and give probation to the guys, to the Americans or whatever the fuck it was. And then when they went to collect the bill, the guys told them, no, it'd be cheaper to have you guys killed and pay you off. But it's just crazy conspiracy talk, and it's just lies I'm making up. You're a bunch of sociopaths who hate yourselves, and I feel sorry for you. Thanks for watching, because you guys are actually watching. Namaste, motherfuckers. Happy day. Bye.